Hi, it's Dr. Sasheen for Women in Transition. Welcome to another video. So every once in a while, I have to talk about gaslighting on this channel. And let me tell you something. The people who are trying to gaslight GenX, y'all need to sit down somewhere. Let me tell you why. The one thing that you are never going to be able to do to a latchkey kid who grew up under all kinds of rhetoric being spewed about them from, we were the generation that wasn't going to ever amount to anything. Nobody even knew we existed half the time because we were kicked out of the house and told to come back home when the streetlights came on. We got into, under, and around every possible obstacle that was ever thrown our way and still managed to come out smelling not only like roses, but planting the whole darn garden. So when people are now running around like, why aren't people, where is GenX and why aren't they making noise about certain things? And I'm talking about people who are looking for a certain politician who doesn't owe y'all anything. And who's in fact on the cusp of the Gen X boomer generation, but I digress. What I'm going to tell you is we're doing what we've always done, minding our own business. And here's why we're minding our own business. Because we actually know how to multitask. And let me tell you why multitasking is not a myth for the Gen X generation and probably the Gen X generation alone. It is simply because we had no choice but to multitask. Let ourselves in the house, got ourselves something to eat, got our homework done, making sure our room was clean, didn't bring home a bad report card because Lord knows that was going to get us in trouble. All the while watching other siblings, taking care of an animal if you had one, doing your chores. And do you think you had time to sit down and do one thing at a time? Of course you didn't. So what makes you all think that Gen X somehow doesn't have a pulse on what's happening, is doing things behind the scenes or not, because it's not their job to save. Gen X is not Gen X, especially Black women, not their job to save us, not their job to save you. But what makes you think that the generation that could literally spin those 7 plates in the air and not drop one doesn't have 7 other plates spinning? Just because you can't see them doesn't mean it's not happening. And now that I've got your attention by getting in your face about it, I want to tell you to put those 7 plates down. Spin 2, maybe 3. Quit trying to save the other 4. Quit trying to save the other 4. Our activism has to look like the only thing that gets me to my peace. That is what activism has to look like now. The thing that may look like marching. That may look like moving. That may look like running for office. That might look like starting a business. That might look like going and buying some Le Creuset, of which my kettle's on the stove. That may look like watching With Love Megan on Netflix, binge watching it a couple of times. That may look like making 5 phone calls a day to your politicians. That may look like drafting postcards. That may look like starting a grassroots organization to put people into positions of power now so that we can right some wrongs. Whatever your activism looks like, however it looks like, do not let folks gaslight you into believing that somehow Gen X isn't doing enough. That you're not active enough, that you're not vocal enough. An ember can start a forest fire, but not if there's nothing there for it to catch on. And the master strategists, the Gen Xers, understand that. So perhaps listen to the people saying it takes multiple embers to start a forest fire. And as long as one's burning over there, and one's burning down there, and one's burning back there, until they all come together, there will be no forest fire, but there will be fire. And that's all you need to concern yourself about. We know how to start the fire, and we know how to put it out. There's a great song by Billy Joel. We didn't start the fire, but Gen X holds the keys to understanding how to put it out and not to repeat it. The question is the world going to listen? And are they going to listen in time? I don't know. But that's my political rant for the day. There aren't very many of them, but this one I need to get off my chest. Y'all have a good one. Bye now.